guys are fucking sweet, man. Welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. Before we go anywhere, I just want to share with you some of the sentiments of your fellow Richmonders. I don't know, what do you call your fellow Richmond, if you will. I like to cruise on Twitter before the shows and whatnot, and after the shows, at every waking hour of my life. So I checked out Twitter right before it came out, just wrote down some shit that made me chuckle. This is from Eric Steigletter. He brought his entourage. He says, "Welcome to Richmond, the capital of the Confederacy, where we proudly display all of our second place trophies on Monument Ave. I wasn't going to bring up that bit of unpleasantness, but I know how you guys feel, man. The Civil War is kind of like your Jersey girl. Okay, man, here's another one I really dug. This is from C.R. Barfield, man. This was just moments before it came out. He says, "I hope this movie's good. I'm feeling tortured by Eddie Vedder." But this one I actually feel like I am kind of a part of, man. Here we go. It's via Momo Jack. It says, "Date night. Kevin Smith and Jay Mewes for me. Hotel sex for the hubby. Win-win." Here's my question, man. We're putting on the show. Why is he getting fucked? And when I say we, there is another party tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Generally, when we do these things and get powered under my own steam, I'm like, let's go somewhere, do something fucking dumb, and everybody comes along. This time around, I was an employee. I followed somebody else. It was really nice, man. I've never been a sheep before, and I've been digging it on this tour, following around my boss, man. I had an employer, somebody who put this whole McGill together. Without him, we wouldn't even be here tonight. So the star of the show, ladies and gentlemen, as well as Mr. Producer of Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie, give it up for my good friend, Mr. Jason Mewes. I've seen that trick. With the mic and without the mic. Okay, man, so here's how this evening goes, because some people are like, what's gonna go on, man? Is that guy gonna fucking stop talking because it's Jay and Silent Bob? No, I'm gonna be talking the whole fucking night, so if you came to see me quiet, you're gonna just here's how the evening goes. What we do is we begin the movie, Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie. It's about an hour and change, very, very quick. There's a pre-show before it, though. Before it begins, basically we gotta thank our sponsors, the cats that pay for us to come out here and whatnot. So we are gonna ask you to sit through some fucking commercial endorsements. The good news is that we're in every one of them. So, if you came here to see us, you're gonna see a lot more of us. After the pre-show begins, and that includes a little cartoon show, we put up Kevin Smith's Cartoon Lagoon for y'all to watch as a kind of pre-show. Just like when you go to see a Pixar movie, they put a little cartoon before it. We did the same thing, but our cartoon has giant dicks in it. So after that cartoon ends, then we begin the real cartoon, Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie. Then you all get a break, go out, grab a smoke, take a shit or whatever. Don't get up too fast, because after the credits, there may be a fucking ending. There is an ending scene, so stick around and watch it and stuff. After the break, we come back in, then the second show begins. There's 2 shows, man. After the movie's done, take a break, come back here, and we begin the podcast, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. So we have so much to get to, man. We're gonna be together all night long, have a great fucking time. Afterwards, you can all yell at him for this fucking thing you're about to watch. I'm very proud of him. I've been following him around the country with this movie, and it's cool. It's great to see him blossom. It's nice to see him pick up something to do other than his fucking dick. So I'm proud to be here tonight, man. Hope you guys enjoy the cartoon. Right after, we'll come out here and we'll make with some more funny. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie. We'll see you later. every son that has a middle age. This is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith.
Jason Mewes!
We are in Richmond, Virginia. Give it up. This is something I found in the note. Doug, the creator of Doug, the cartoon Doug. Remember Doug from the 90s? Just like us, remember us from the 90s? The creator of Doug, Jim Jenkins, was from right here in Richmond, Virginia. So if you watch the cartoon, it's full of references to the area and shit like that. And I only bring it up because A, it's relevant because we're local, but B, if you ever watched that cartoon, when Doug went to his closet, he had a bunch of outfits just the same, hanging up one after another on the closet. That's what my closet looks like. Like Batman's closet. And speaking of Batman, we will jump into that. I'm sure both of us have plenty.
I'm Batman.
If this was the 90s, you might have been the Riddler, man. And I might have been Penguin.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Before we jump into that, dude, we were just talking right before we came out on stage, man. And he said something I had no idea. He was like, my old lady fucking punched me the other night in my sleep. And I was like, what? And he told me the story. She's a sleepwalker?
Yeah.
Show him the fucking face that you made of her. Take off your hat, show him your eyes. This is his fucking face of his wife's
So it happens at least 3 times a week, right? So she'll I'll be sitting there watching TV, and then all of a sudden, I'll out of my peripherals, I'll see this.
It's like fucking Avatar, man.
And so it's either she'll look at me and be like, and then so what happened the other night is she did that, and then I looked at her, and then I turned back around, because I sort of ignore her at this point, but then she fucking slaps me in the back of the fucking neck, and then I was like, what are you doing? She's like, who are you? I'm like, babe, it's me. She's like, and then she always goes for our dogs. It's weird. She always looks for Jersey and Jacks. And then she'll go, whose dogs are these? Whose dogs are these? Not all. So the other.
You're like, oh, these are your dogs, baby.
That would be awesome if she fucking woke up and just pulled my dick out and was like staring at me like that crazy, she's like, whose dick is this? I was like, doesn't matter. But she always wonders about the dog, if the dogs are ours, if they're someone else's dogs, or she'll think we have another dog. So anyway,
in her sleep, she'll wake up and be like, where's the third dog?
Yeah, she'll be like, where's the other one? Where's the other one? I'm like, there's Jersey, there's Jax. And she'll be like, yeah, but where's And then she called me an old lady. The funny thing is, she's even fucking she busts my balls when he's sleeping too. She'll wait, so I go out on I have a slider. I went outside and I go out and smoke in the middle of the night sometimes if I can't see. And so I try to come back in all, quiet, and I slide the slider, and I look over and she jumps up again. Who are you? I'm like, it's me, babe, it's me, I'm sorry. And who are you? And I'm like, it's me. And she goes, oh, I was like, who do you think it is? She goes, I thought you were an old lady in a dress. Because I had just my little fucking, my little boxers on and a tank top. So maybe it looked like a dress. And then she goes, well, maybe you should take better care of yourself. I was like, all right, I look like an old lady because I don't take care of myself. So that happens, but you know what? Next time, it's a good idea because next time I'm gonna try to have sex with her when she's like that and see if she's just like, fuck me, you old lady, and I'm just like, yeah. But speaking of fucking, I want to tell you real quick because this is pretty ridiculous and funny. So first off, I'll tell you that me and my lady, we've been talking about having a baby. And we're sort of, she's gone to the doctors, and I did my sperm check, and I'm over 20 million milliliters of sperm, or whatever it is. I forget. It says on the package what it is.
Is it a good?
It's good, yeah.
What do you think it says it on the back? The back of the doctor?
No, sorry. It's almost like a pregnancy test. But it's for, you fucking gotta come in a cup, and then you get a syringe, and you fucking suck it up. I quickly shut myself up. I'm just kidding. I was like, oh, I can't open it. No, but you suck it up, and then you gotta squirt this like liquid in it, and you mix it up. And anyway, you pour it on the little stick, just like a pregnancy test. And there's a
What is this? This is the Play-Doh baby making kit?
I got it from Amazon, man. I love me some Amazon. It was like pre-order Xbox One, pre-order PS4. Oh, and there's a sperm count tracker. I'll take that too.
You bought a sperm counter off of Amazon?
Yeah, they sent
Do
it
you
to
have
me.
to mail it away, or it just happens right there?
No, it tells you right there. So it says that there's 2 lines.
Hold on. Because there's so many fucking things wrong with this. You're trying to have a baby, earnestly trying to have a baby with your wife, and the first step on the road to that is not a doctor, but some shit you bought on Amazon?
Yeah.
Dude, there's only one level below that. You're like, we want to have a baby, so I bought this shit on eBay.
We did that. She went to a doctor's and she had to do what she had to do and find out what's next. And the gynecologist.
I understand. She went to a doctor, and it was your turn, and you were like, I'll just mail away from
No. But I am going to. I got. You have to get a prescription to go to the place and fucking come in and check it and stuff.
Oh, they don't let you do that without a prescription?
Yeah, no. So
I've been breaking the law for years.
So I'm saying I got the prescription, but I had to set an appointment, and I have to go, and then so I have a few weeks. So I was like, all right, this is $46. I'm gonna see, and it'll make me feel better. If it says it's bad, then I'm still gonna go to the doctor's. I'm like, yo, I took this test, it didn't pan out. I hope it's wrong, but if it's good, then I won't be as stressed out. And it said that I am above the normal. I guess 10% of men are below 20 million sucking dick and if it is, you can still have a baby, but it's gonna be harder. Right. But if you're above it, then you're in the money, it says. But again, it's a home test. It was $46 from Amazon, and I got it FedExed overnight, 1-day delivery, so it was an extra $9. Not so bad, bro, for peace of mind.
So for $55, someone was like, you're viral. You could give me $25, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, come in my hand. Viral.
You're the end.
Very heavy. Feels like 20 million or so.
It does. I feel better about it. That's how it's concerned.
Right. So
yeah, it's concerned.
You're doing that. You're trying to have the baby.
So we've been talking about it. So this has been on my mind. And so the other day, she was sitting at the desk. She just got out of the shower. She comes out in her robe. Sometimes she gets dressed right away, but she was at her computer, and I was in there playing some Call of Duty, Black Ops 10 and shit. And I was like, oh, I love that game.
You played Call of Duty like your sperm swims?
Yeah,
it's the same fucking noise.
Concussion. So I was playing. I came out and she was sitting at her desk and she was writing an email or whatever she was doing, and she was in her robe and I could see her fucking vagina because the flip flop was on the side. So I sat and knelt.
Wait, what was on the side?
Like the robe was flipped to the side. So
it's a robe.
Yeah. Well, in her beef
curtains. You described it to her like her flip was flopped to the side.
Her beef curtains were to the side.
How much flip are we talking about here, man?
No. She did. Just the robe was to the side, so it was exposed.
Right.
So even though I was in the middle of a hardcore game, because usually if she's in the robe and it's closed, I'm not gonna try because she's writing an email. She's gonna tell me to fuck off, which I do sometimes still. But then she'll tell me to fuck off. But this time she didn't because it was exposed. So I sat there and I was looking at what she's doing, and right away
why are you on your knees?
I'm showing you what I was doing, and I'm gonna play with your fucking pussy on it. And so the first thing she says is she's like, why are you fucking looking over my shoulder at what I'm doing? I'm like, I'm not. And then I went down for the move and shit, and I fucking reached down, I started playing a little bit, and she's still sort of ignoring me at first. But I keep playing with it, and then I think, you know, I started getting, finally found the spot after 10 minutes. You know, the spot right down by her asshole. The clit right down by the asshole.
Did you not find it for 10 minutes because of the flock?
Yeah, the curtain was on the side. I moved it over. No, I think I got her excited enough to fucking get her lined off the email, and then she finished. So anyway, but this is the ridiculous part because I'm a fool. So I gotta show you this. So, you know, this is the chair. This is like the office chair. And so I think I'm smooth enough that my knees are gonna be down. And so I fucking spin her around, and the cool thing was on wheels, so it was like, and then I start kissing her a little bit, playing with her boobies and trying to unrobe her. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna be high enough to get right in there, but just like here, this chair, it's not. So I'm like, my weak ass is like, I'm trying to hold myself up and get it in there, and I'm already fucking up, and I can tell she's like trying to help me, but it's not working. But because she's trying to help me, and it's on wheels, I get to a point where it was like this. So that happened. It's already.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was okay.
I meant for reals. I thought you went down.
No, it's okay. And so, luckily my fucking boner was like, boom, and fucking braced my fall and shit. Then I started teetering. I look like fucking Tom Mewes and shit, fucking hanging in Mission Impossible. But she's sitting here and she fucking starts laughing at me. And then I'm like, oh, I fucked up the mood and shit. She's not gonna want to. But I didn't get over it, but then I fucking tried to be smooth.
Listen how fucking out of breath you are, man. From fake sex. What must the real thing be like with you?
So then I try to be, so then she's over there and I try to be smooth and we're laughing a little bit and then I'm like this. So it was pretty smooth. I rolled her back over.
Oh, you used the chair you pulled it
Yeah.
for. You're all like 9.5 weeks.
Yeah, so it was like, and we start this and then I finally get it and I realize I spin her against the desk so there's no fall and I finally get up and I'm like, giddy. But then I realize I'm out of breath and I'm all weak and shit and exhausted because my one arm's up, my other arm's up and I'm trying to fucking balance. But we're getting into it and it was going good. And then I'm like, let's go on the table. And the first thing I go, let's go on the desk. And she's like, no, not the desk. Because her computer's there and all this shit. So it was like, it was trying to be all sexy. I was like, roar. And then she was like, da. So then we move over to the dining table and I like move the shit over and shit. So I'm moving, I'm like, ugh. And then we get, and then of course the desk is now lower and I'm like this. So, but it's going good, we're doing it and shit, we're getting into some funky business. And then, so I'm going for a bit and she's like, oh, you just come already, because this is uncomfortable for me, which she tells me a lot.
I think it's uncomfortable for all of us.
So then I'm like, okay. And I grab her legs up, I have her legs up and I'm like, and I come. And usually when I come, I'll fucking either pull out or whatever, so it's not messy, or I'll just sit there and like lay on her, but she's on the table.
And you're trying to make a baby now.
Well, yeah, so I'm like, I want to leave it in there, but I start to lay on her, and she's like, get off me. So then she's like, get off. So I get off, but then I already had, my swimmers are in there and shit. But I want to make sure they stay in there, and she goes to hop up, because you know, she does this thing usually. Usually she hops up and goes like this. And goes to the bathroom, but I'm...
There's a crab to the bathroom.
Yeah, but I'm like, don't... So she goes to do it, I'm like, no, wait. And so I hold her legs up, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it. And I cup her puss. And then in my head, I'm like, well, maybe if I do this, it'll like be like... And blow some like air friction, so I'm like cupping it. She's like, what are you doing? Because again, sorry, in the beginning of the sex, I wasn't like, let's try to make a baby. And so this is going through my head, the baby, but she's not thinking about it. So I'm like cupping and going like this, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, don't move. Let the cum get in there and soak in, and we're gonna have a baby maybe. And she's like, wait, she gets up, she's like, wait a sec. I'm like, what? She's like, we can't have, it's not even gonna work right now because I have my Uber ringing, you dickhead.
What's the Uber?
It's a birth control.
Oh, so she's on birth control, and you're giving it your best fucking shot.
When she
You're
was
sitting there mixing her up like a martini.
I thought she had gone to the doctor a week before, a couple weeks before, I don't know when it was, and the guy said he'd get off of it and it's gonna be fine. And so I thought she stopped taking it right there because we talked about it and she wasn't gonna take it anymore. But little did I know that she was gonna take it like one more cycle and it was gonna be like a planned out thing. And I already thought the business was going on. So the last few times I've been like coming in and being like, yeah, this is gonna happen. Lay there. But this time I'm like, I'm really gonna make it happen. I'm like tapping that pussy and shit thinking it's gonna go.
Can I jump in? I don't think any woman ever wants to hear, this is gonna happen, lay there.
I wanted to grab her ankles and hang her upside down. So yeah, for all that work and stuff, again.
All that work and 20 million soldiers dead.
Yes! All of them, Johnny, Billy, Roddy, Tina.
I told you not to name them.
So, but she's gonna get off of it soon. She's gonna, when this one is done, she's not gonna take it anymore. And
So you wound up just having sex for fun.
which was good, yeah, which was good. It was nice, but there was a little mishap and stuff, but hopefully it's crazy because it's like you worry about, I realize that you worry about it before you're married and everything. You worry for years not to want to have a baby, right?
Yeah.
Use rubbers and you pull out whatever and you're like, oh, I hope she's not pregnant because there's that one night stand or because we're seeing each other, we're not ready yet.
Okay, maybe for a thin boy. No fat boy ever has that thought. Like, oh, that one night stand. What one night stand?
All right, even if you're
I hope my hand's not pregnant.
I hope that when we really make the effort and we're like, we want it bad, that it doesn't, because it could not happen so easy. Where my sister has 8 kids, and her brother, my wife's brother, he's just got another girl pregnant. He's on his 9th kid. So we were saying,
they both come from pretty fertile stock.
yeah, so between the two of them, my sister and her brother and shit, they got fucking.
Well, maybe you should have her sister or your sister and her brother fucking give you the baby because they sound very fertile.
I was thinking about it. I said, look, if something happens and we can't do it, maybe we can have like one of our family members have it for us. But she doesn't want to do it. I don't know.
You mean like if your sperm count's too low, I'll totally fucking volunteer my services. That'd be awesome, man. I'm your Uncle Dad.
You're like, you know what? I thought about it. I'm keeping this baby, motherfucker.
Like you're the new little J.
So hopefully it works out. It's easier than I guess it can be for some, and not as you get. So.
Good for you, man. Well, I can't wait to chart the growth of this new chapter in your life as you have a kid, which, fuck, I feel bad for that kid. But, no, you will be an excellent father. If there's one thing that you've been put on this earth to do, other than make me giggle, it is to have kids. You've been ready to be a family man forever, man. He's got it in his blood. My kid loved Jason when she was a little baby. In fact, she has this pink elephant, little floppy flat elephant that we got at some fucking store somewhere, a flat-cell elephant, I think it was called. But she's called it for her whole life. It's called Yay. It's still Yay. It still sits on her bed and shit. But now she's older and she throws Yay off the bed and makes out with her boyfriend or something like that. And Yay watches from the floor like, why? Yay was named after Jay. We never really figured it out. Like she'd call this big elephant Yay all the time. Yay. And it wasn't until she called him at one point Yay we made the connection. So he was always so great with the fucking kid. He's always been so great with kids. It'll be great. It'll be wonderful to watch you become a dad, man. I believe in you as a father. More than some people believe in Ben Affleck as Batman. Show me the money! This is, I don't think I've seen so much ire on the internet maybe ever in my life, man. I'm surprised the internet wasn't like shut down because it overheated, because they said there was a Hollywood Reporter article that said in the first hour on Twitter, 71% of the tweets about Ben Affleck as Batman were negative. And then it was something like 16% were like neutral, and then I was the other 12%. They announced, for those of you who've not been paying attention, but I don't know how you could fucking miss this story, because fuck, it took the world by storm. They announced that in the new forthcoming Superman movie, the sequel to Man of Steel, which they haven't quite, but they've announced the title to. Yeah, I doubt it will be Man of Steel 2. They have hinted at that it might be Superman versus Batman. Regardless, whatever the next Superman movie is, Batman is in it, and they've announced that Ben Affleck, a dude we both worked with, is going to wind up playing Bruce Wayne and Batman. This is a fucking tremendous course of development for me, because 12 years ago, I bought Ben Affleck's house. So now I own Wayne Manor, man. Am I recording? You're all invited. It's very, very cool. I've said many times over the course of my speaking life or whatever, I think Ben's a tremendous actor. I said he could play anything. He could play the shark in a Jaws remake. So if they cast him as Batman, I believe me, I was the first one who was just, I'm shocked. I didn't think he'd ever do it. I didn't even think he was in the running, and not because they didn't think he was worthy. I knew they'd want to go after him. They'd gone after him for other stuff in the past. I didn't think he'd do it because he's like, fuck it, man. I got Argo. I got this directing career going. I don't need to go into the world of superheroes and stuff. Contrary to a lot of people on the internet are just like, you got to talk to Ben. Did he tell you? Assuming that Ben and I have the same relationship that you and I have. We don't. I don't speak to Ben very often at all and stuff. So everything I say tonight is based on conjecture. It's not based on having an inside line. I found out about it same time it hit the news like everybody else. I was like, holy fucking shit, man. Immediately I was tickled because I'm like, even though I don't talk to the dude much anymore, I'm like, this is a motherfucker I spent 12 hardcore years making art with. Some of the best times of my life on a set with this guy. So to find out that he's playing one of my favorite characters on the planet, I'm like, I believe in Ben as an actor, obviously. I cast him over and over again. Some people go, yeah, you believe in him in like fucking roles like that, but not as fucking Batman. And then people will like draw a line going, well, he can play an excellent Bruce Wayne, but he can't play Batman, and he hasn't done fucking anything yet. But people point to Daredevil and be like, he's been Daredevil, and he fucked that movie up and shit like that. I don't think he fucked the movie up, and also that's a whole different affair. There are a bunch of people who are like, he's gonna ruin it, this is the end of the Batman franchise. They're saying this is like, I've seen tweets that are like, come back Val Kilmer and shit like that. But I think everyone's like way off the mark. I think once everyone gets it out of their system and it kind of settles down, it's a really great choice. This guy will not drop the fucking ball, and here's why. He's been to the top of the pyramid. Dude won an Academy Award for writing Good Will Hunting. Then went on to play major movie roles, became a movie star. Wasn't just doing like classy work or Academy type work. He was making big ass fucking movies, huge big budget movies for a stretch there. So after there was a movie or two that I think one of them I had something to do with that handicapped his career, the whole Gilly thing, and Jennifer Lopez and whatnot. And so for a while, people were kicking him in the teeth, and he was down, and they were pulling plugs on movies he was in. And for a while, like he was really down the dumps, and people shit on him and whatnot. So he slowly brought himself out of that by doing what? Not acting, by becoming a director. He did Gone Baby Gone, and after that did Town. And then, of course, he did Argo, man, which was the crown jewel. So he was up here, then down here, then all the way back here, and then once they made this announcement, the whole of the internet turned around and was like, fuck him in the ass again! And he dropped fucking back down here. Now, Ben will not drop the ball for this very reason. He's been here and he's been here. He knows this rocks. He knows how horrible this is. He's loved the character for a long, long time. One of the things we bonded over early in our lives when we met on Mallrats was fucking Batman. Like, he always wanted to play Batman. That's the real irony of this whole thing. He was always kind of into the idea of playing Batman. But at that point, all the Batman movies were done. And they'd done the one with Clooney, and they were kind of fucking finished. So that's why he went to Daredevil. He loved Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. So when Daredevil came out, he was like, oh, fucking Miller wrote Daredevil as well, man. As close as I'll get to Batman. So it's always been in him, in his house, in the house what was his, which is now mine. It's taken me a long time to start thinking of it as my house. But in the house that was his, when I first went to tour through the house on 4th of July, 2001, he goes, come here, Smitty, I gotta show you this, come here. takes me into his room, and I was like, I've seen your dick. And he goes, no, come here. And he took me into right off the bedroom, which is not my bedroom. Right off the bedroom, this little kitchenette area. We made it a kitchenette. And then there was a little study office. It's got this big, beautiful bookcase in it. So he goes, look at that. And I was like, that's fantastic, dude. This is a good-looking bookcase. You didn't read all these books. And he goes, that's all I'm talking about. Look, and he reaches in the bookcase, presses a button. All of a sudden, the one to the far left goes, opens up, and you see an entryway to a secret fucking room. And I go, get the fuck out of here. You built a bat cave? And he goes, I built a bat cave entrance.